Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, and I'm joined as always by my good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Hello.
How are we doing tonight, Evan?
We're great. I hope everyone's doing well at home.
Doing well out there in the good old, we're here in the ether. You guys are out there in the comfort of your homes. And so we're hoping tonight to bring a little bit of horror into your houses. And if you follow this show,
make sure you enunciate there.
You know how important it is for me to enunciate the word horror. So, as always, we bring you some public domain horror for your Friday evening. Watch along with us, joke, drink, get a little bit of facts, a little bit of information.
Yeah, we'll need to go to OnlyFans for the other show.
Yeah, if you're looking for a little more, then you can go check out our ancillary pages for more...
it's a different kind of scream.
Varied content, for sure. But here, we're just bringing you public domain horror, as always, and this represents a wide range of what horror has been from the first horror movie up till even today. We're going early for tonight's episode.
How early are we going?
Well, Evan, we're going back to the year 1920, which we've actually been to on the show once before, last season when we watched Das Cabinet that Dr. Caligari. If you saw the intro that we had, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari we saw that last season. It's a silent film from Germany in the German Expressionist style. It has some interesting story stuff. I think we had fun with it.
Yeah.
I think we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And but silent films are a little controversial. Just they can be hard to follow.
Divisive. Not everybody's down with the
Not
silent
everybody
film.
is. It can be hard to stay focused when you're trying to watch, but then you got to read, and you're
trying to crack jokes for this live stream.
Right, especially here in studio for us, trying to keep up with what is going on.
Not to mention the Caligari curse.
And that was a big thing. If you saw our Caligari episode, we were afflicted by a terrible, terrible curse. This entire show, the Gremlins got in the machine. It is kind of par for the course here on the show, or it was. And the Caligari curse was really the pinnacle of it all. Season 2's been, and I've jinxed it. I jinx season 1 all the time. I think that's why we got the Caligari curse. So I figured if we led with a Caligari trailer tonight, maybe we get some of the juju out of there. Okay. Oh, Sylarn's in on it. All right, thank you, Sylarn. Sylarn's in the house. Yes. So maybe the Caligari... Maybe I jinxed it. Maybe the Caligari curse is back.
Spoke too soon.
I did speak too soon. That's
Pride before a fall.
Always the way it goes. For me, always the way it goes here on this show. But we persevere on. We keep going. We never stop. We're bringing you premium Okay, yes. Sylarn, I've got you. I'm playing with some things. Let me know, Sylarn, if anything changes. I've just played with a couple things. Let me know if there's been any improvement. So anyway, like we were saying, Caligari, got that out of the way. We're going back to 1920 Germany for tonight's film, Der Golem, or The Golem. But it's always more fun to say the German title, for these old German movies. I don't know, Der Golem is just,
Das Cabinet.
Das Cabinet,
Das Boot.
Das Boot. It's fun. These things are fun to say. I better. Hell yeah, Sylarn. I figured. Let us know. Sometimes I'll have to reset it. Sometimes not. It's funky. But Caligari Curse, hopefully it's not a Golem curse. I'm hoping that by the end of tonight's stream, the Golem will ward off whatever bad juju we got from Caligari that's still lingering around in the inner webs, in the fibers of everything that it takes to make this stream. So we are doing Der Golem tonight, and I figure, hey, season 2, episode 2, might as well go ahead and get our, because every season we have plenty. Let me tell you something: plenty of silent films that need to be shown. Yes, Evan is a little more shellacked with light than I am. I think what it is, Sylarn, is I probably moved the light. Either I moved the light or Evan's closer and I'm further away, so Evan's brighter than he'd normally be. And well, yeah. Yes. So Evan did share that today is Evan's anniversary. So congrats, Evan.
Thank you.
Congrats, Sierra. 1 year of
marital bliss.
Marital bliss. And
Many more to come.
Many more to come. Yes. Well, again, that's not light. That's the glow of a 1 year anniversary. Get with it, Simon.
Yeah, I'm
Come
just
on.
pregnant.
Yes. So Evan wanted to go ahead and announce it here first. He's pregnant. So Sierra, I hope you're not too surprised. But that's the glow. That's what it's about. And his fresh T-shirt, which is
some fresh threads.
And I don't think Fresh Rogan will be joining us in the chat tonight. Unfortunately, he's come down with an illness. I did not give him anything through the stream, despite what you might have heard, despite previous reports. The CDC,
despite any rumors or allegations about a viral video.
You cannot transmit a virus through a live stream. Go look on the CDC's website.
I don't know. I think that's the new variant.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point.
Virus.
Oh no. Why was I streaming when I had COVID? No, so. So unfortunately, Sylarn is joining us tonight. So unfortunately, Sylarn is joining us tonight. No, I'm just kidding. But unfortunately, Fresh is probably not joining us tonight. So if he's feeling up to it and he graces us with his presence in the chat, it'll be a nice treat. But we're happy to have Sylarn. We're happy to have Sierra spending their anniversary here with us in Der Golem tonight. I mean, this is like Caligari. If you enjoyed the imagery in Caligari, you'll enjoy the image of Thrill. Right. No, you'll enjoy the imagery here. I think the story is a little more... Because the sets for Caligari were clearly sets and everything was painted. The sets are more, they're real here. Things were built, made, and it's trying to almost do like a sci-fi film. Like there's space stuff and I don't know if it's space, but it's like looking through telescopes. And so, there's a little bit more here, I think. And the Golem does a lot through his journey and adventures. So I think it will be, because again, the difference here between these two movies, to go ahead and try to get you guys a little more pumped up for the Golem. The difference between the two is that Caligari is very much psychological, and this is more, it's horror, fantasy, sci-fi, historical, folklore. Really, it's all based out of European folklore and folklore traditions. So that's what we're getting here tonight. So it really actually should be fairly exciting. I think we'll enjoy it. So, and we'll get to, go in a little more into German Expressionism and all that good stuff. So, as always, we bring you guys with these wonderful movies to make it even more enjoyable. We bring you Evan brings us a wonderful cocktail every week. So, Evan, take it away.
Okay, well, what are we drinking tonight?
What were you drinking?
What was I drinking? Tonight, we are drinking the Stone Sour. So, longtime viewers will know that here at the Scream Stream, we like to mix things up. We think life's a little more fun when you mix things up. So we bring you a fun thematic mixed drink every week. This week is the Stone Sour. That is whiskey or some bourbon, some lemon juice, some orange juice, and some simple syrup. Just mix that up and pour it over some ice. I'm going to pour that up right now.
And I imagine that you didn't pre-make your wife anything before you didn't pre-make her.
No, I also
a drink.
stole all the orange juice. So
Right, I
sorry,
figured you just
sorry, dear.
Yeah, well, there you go. And it's your anniversary.
On my anniversary.
On your anniversary. Wow. Okay. So, and if you know about the last two drinks that we've had, both had vodka and Kahlua, so we're really switching it up here tonight.
Right. Well, I was telling Garrett that so we're watching the Golem, and the Golem's made out of mud, and so my first obvious thought is, oh, we'll just have mudslides, easy, done.
Right.
But it's basically the same drink we've been drinking for 3 weeks now. So found this fun recipe. It's kind of a play on a whiskey sour, which is, it's whiskey, lemon juice, and some simple syrup. And this one, it just has some orange juice in it. That's really the only difference. But should be pretty smooth, pretty citrusy. I think this one should be pretty good.
I'm excited.
All right, so there you go, Garrett. All right. Cheers, Garrett.
All
Cheers
right,
to
cheers,
everyone
Evan.
at
Cheers
home.
out there. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Toast. Cheers to you guys.
Toast.
Toast to the 1 year. Ooh, okay. So when Evan originally told me about this drink tonight, my first thought was that maybe, because with a lot of orange juice drinks, the orange juice can really overpower the drink. But I'll tell you here, it does not overpower the drink at all, and if anything, it makes the bourbon just tolerable.
It's tame, but it's there. There's still definitely
that
whiskey
bourbon
note coming through, but it's not.
There's a kick.
Overpowering.
There's definitely a kick to that. So, I like it. I definitely like it.
Yeah, that's good. That's refreshing.
Yeah, it's weird actually, because the bourbon is mixing with the orange juice to create this fruity, I don't know, it's a cosmic mix. It's very good. So if you are enjoying that drink tonight, let us know how it is. I don't think Cylon has the ingredients, so
You're missing out.
You're missing out.
But anyone who has a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of bourbon, some OJ, a little bit of lemon juice.
Simple ingredients everybody has around their
Right.
house.
You probably have those just in your cabinet.
Cobble it together and you got a cocktail going. So
Get them out of DOS cabinet and you've got a drink going.
You get it out of DOS cabinet and you drink your Stone Sour and you turn into Der Golem.
Yeah.
And so it all, it all connects. So we're going to get into Der Golem again from 1920. The Stone Sour is perfect. It's a perfect drink. So
hopefully this movie isn't too sour.
No, I think the sour drink will offset the sweetness that we may find that the Golem actually has in his heart. Because what we'll find here is certainly that this movie would go on to influence a very seminal Universal horror film, which we'll talk about later, which you can probably guess.
The Iron Giant.
The Iron Giant, obviously, a cartoon classic. I actually love that movie. I think everybody here enjoys the Iron Giant. I really enjoy the Iron Giant, but not quite. But you'll see. But the Golem, I think, in a way, like I said, it comes from folklore. But again, Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein about 100 years, a little over 100 years before this film was made. So certainly you have themes about creating something, like a person creating a thing, an artificial thing, and what are the consequences of that. But again, this comes out of folklore and to an extent Jewish folklore. But I think with this movie, it's kind of more broadly European. It does come out of Germany. Again, before things start to get, things were hairy during this, after World War One. Well, things were hairy in Germany for a long time. But
they got hairier. They only got more hairy.
Even before the Nazis took over, the 20s were kind of hairy. Berlin, Germany, all that. Whatever you want to say about the Weimar Republic, I don't think things were particularly good. But you had some great cinema coming out around this time, and so this movie comes from one of the premier German studios, UFA, but I think it's called UFA for short. So if you hear me say UFA and it sounds weird. You're right. It was spice. Silent says it was spicy.
Spicy history.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Spicy period.
Spicy Weimar Germany. That's when this was made, and it takes place in I don't know. That's another thing. If I don't know how people feel about period pieces, I like things in a contemporary. Once you go past the 20th century, for me, you start fall off as far as my attention span. And so, I first saw this when I was 7 or 8, and I probably watched the first 10 or 15 minutes and was like, I'm not following any of this. And so I just turned it off and never watched it again. So this is my first time seeing it in a while. And so I'm excited to see what what parallels I can draw, what analysis I can bring. I have my usual fact sheet. It's not quite as long because I don't know as much about this movie. And again, there isn't.
So have you seen this one all the way through?
No.
Okay.
The thing about Caligari was I saw it in film school multiple times because it's still taught in film schools today. The Golem is not taught in film schools. And that's nothing That's nothing against the Golem, but certainly you could say that Caligari is more arty, and so for film school, art school, I think it's a little more appropriate. But the Golem, I think we'll find some relevant themes here and enjoy it. And now that I'm 20 years older than the last time I tried to watch it, I think I should be able to stick with it. So if you catch me dozing off,
just yell at him in the chat and wake him up.
I've told Evan to throw whatever drink that he's got around, just kind of. We don't have a squirt bottle handy, so.
But I do have this air horn.
Oh, well, and that was the air horn system was something that we also discussed, so I'm glad that Evan's got that at the ready. So, I think without further ado, Evan, unless you have anything before we get into Der Golem.
Maybe any bets?
Yeah, any bets? I mean, again, there's going to be a Golem.
Right.
I've given,
I think that they're going to teach the Golem how to love.
I like that. I think there's certainly the possibility for it. With a Golem, it's and again, for those of you who are maybe less familiar, it's an artificial thing made out of clay. So, an artificial being. So, artificial beings are usually very unpredictable, which makes for a fun movie. So,
makes for a fun lover.
Makes her, ooh, yeah, that's unpredictable equals fun lover. Oh yes. I'm sure Supernatural has made use of Golem mythology. You know, when you're on for that many seasons, you got to be scraping the every corner of folklore, monsters, and mythology. How do you run for 200 episodes if you don't get every little piece of mythology covered? And they did it. Kudos to them. Haven't watched the show, but kudos to them. So, all right. Well, without further ado, I think we're going to go ahead and get into Der Golem. So, the director, Paul Wegener, is also the one playing Der Golem. A strange creature called a golem. See, Ufa. And I can't it's some long thing that I could not tell you what it means. It's like Universalum film something. No kidding.
Yeah. When don't they reveal that?
If only they knew.
Oh.
I think that's just always in the stars.
Right. Yeah, that's just another Tuesday.
It's a pretty sophisticated rabbi with all his telescopes and his big books.
So is this the original score?
No, I do not believe so. Most of these silent films have modern scores done for DVD or Blu-ray releases and restorations. And I would say it's a little more bearable because when I was a kid, I'm watching a copy, like old public domain copy, where it's just scratches and dust, and you couldn't even tell what was happening. So
we've got the HD re-release.
Pristine print. Well, I read about the whole restoration process for the version we're watching of this, and a lot of restorations cobbling the existing prints. There's no existing German print of this, apparently. I love that hat. Yeah. Look at those hats. Look at those, rabbis like Harry Potter wearing witch hats. What's going on? You can't be a rabbi going out wearing a hat like that. So you can see here the sets are, kind of wild. And then Expressionism is all this light and shadow stuff that we've got and it's real here, where in Caligari everything was painted.
Yeah.
Jehovah. Get out of here, Gandalf. I got you. I'll get everybody together. Quit riding me. Whoa, that's a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Big menorah, dude. That's what that's called, right? A
I
menorah?
think so, yeah. Yeah, the menorah.
Whoa. Oh, that's not a good sign. That's bad. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Sheesh.
No wonder no German prince in this movie survived. Burn it, burn it, burn it all. In nothing that even vaguely, you know, because I don't think there is anything about this movie that is anti. This isn't like, I think the Jewish people are treated pretty sympathetically in this, but you know, here we are. We're just seeing the other side of it. We're seeing the threat that the Jewish people are going to face. This fucking Christian king with his giant stamp, giant seal. I have made my decree. Holding court, dude. What bullshit, man. Everybody just standing around one room chit-chatting. Get out.
Well, they didn't have Xbox back then. You have to fill the time somehow.
Everyone stand in your groups and do not listen into other people's conversations. Yes, sir. Did my feather hit you? Oh, I'm sorry.
That looks
I feel
thrilled.
like Silarn would like a hat like that. Oh, okay. I see if this is the rabbi, I see the rabbi's game. We need protection. I mean, when are we gonna build like, it's only a matter of time before we build like robots that are, you know, robot soldiers. Astaroth. I feel like that feather, no way the feather would stay off for very long. It would get caught in a bush or, you know, another bird. I mean, come on.
Is that a set? That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it looks. There could be some forced perspective going on there or something, but it looked like a set. What has he got? That guy have a rose in his mouth? What an asshole! What a dickhead!
What a dandy!
Fucking dandy with his giant feather and a rose in his mouth. Like, here's the order from the king. Get out!
This fancy horse.
Get out of here, fancy boy. With your carpet on your horse. So, how much you want to bet the music wasn't going on the stream the whole time?
Oh no!
I mean, they got to hear our wonderful voices, but
Well, it's a
now
sound movie.
with music. We withheld it to make it a little more exciting now. If you weren't paying attention before.
You know, I do really like the use of color in this. Very stylized.
Tinting was a very popular thing back then, that when movies got reprinted, and especially in America got passed around, the tinting just got lost. And with these restorations, it's been kind of a struggle to find copies with the original tinting that still fully exist to try to match it. And luckily they were able to do that here. They found, I think it was a Spanish, or it's a copy that's housed somewhere in Spain or somewhere, that, or Italy maybe, I'm not quite sure which one, but that had the original tinting. But it probably wasn't very well preserved, but they were able to take the more well preserved copy and apply the tinting. But it was a post thing. You didn't have color, but you could tint certain scenes to evoke moods and, you know, convey day, night, whatever you want to do. Even the way he stands, look at that. Preening around. Get out of here, dude.
He looks so pleased with himself, too.
Fucking asshole. No, there's no compassion.
Just look at this guy.
Look
Of course
at you
he
think
doesn't.
that he's walking around with a rose and a giant feather in his hat. Sure. Yeah, sure. Don't you trust this guy? Uh-oh. Do it. You won't, Rabbi. So yeah, I don't know if it's made out of, you know, it's different things. Clay, mud, you know, you always see different things.
Some kind of earth.
Some kind of earth. I was trying to remember if it was related. Like, I remember, made it out of clay. I was like, oh, that's the dreidel
Yeah,
song.
the dreidel.
The dreidel song, okay.
Golem.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I made him out of clay. Yeah, that works. Oh, I love the way the light is shooting through that window.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Cool. And the dust they have in the air, that's what makes you be able to see it that way. Of course, now all the dust is cleared because of that giant dress she's wearing.
Looks like he's tried this a few times.
Oh. Just get, I mean, that's the life of an artist. You get frustrated, you throw it down, you put it away for a while, and then you come back to it later. And you make it a little better each time. Uh-oh. Punch the dandy in the face. Yep. Uh-oh. Rabbi, you got a little leverage, maybe? Oh, there's your leverage.
Yeah.
There's your leverage.
My secret weapon.
Bring in the chambermaids. Wow, that's not subtle.
This guy's gonna start frothing at the mouth.
Seriously. Just giving each other the eyes. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Cut. And do it. Not if you get crushed by it first, Rabbi.
Where's Igor when you need him?
Seriously, this is why Dr. Frankenstein had an assistant. Actually, in the book, he didn't have an assistant.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was just a movie thing. But could have learned a lesson or two 10 years later. I don't know. Can I? How much are you willing to pay, Rabbi? He's gonna. Oh, this is the assistant. You brought up an assistant. Here we go. Clearly. Squire Florian.
Squire Florian.
there's no way that you gotta have like other feathers like on your person somewhere or something. There's no way that one feather is built to last that long. Heavy breathing and staring. I mean, is he? No, no. I was about to say, is he copping a feel? But no. Getting really hot and heavy though. Woo! So that takes us to the first break. We need to cool off. Yeah, we have to cool off after that. That was some heavy petting. So that was the exciting beginning of the Golem, and I think that it's been I've liked all these like celestial sequences. You know?
All of the exterior sky.
I mean,
pretty good.
All the sets and all the design.
It's pretty impressive for 1920.
Right, and again, for what we saw in season 1 Caligari, where again things were very much painted and exaggerated. Here,
Caligari looked a lot like a stage. It looked like kind of like a stage set. Yeah,
very much like here's some cardboard walls or whatever and plaster walls, and we're just gonna paint all these crazy shadows on it. And here they were actually able to build the sets in just crazy ways.
Yeah, and I mean, not to speak ill of Caligari. I mean, I think it worked very well for the psychological angle.
Right.
I mean, everything looks very artificial because, well, in a sense, it kind of is.
Right. Exactly. And I think here, telling a historical story, it helps to kind of be a little bit more grounded, even though things look crazy.
Yeah.
Which is attributable to the set designer, which is a guy named Hans Polzig. And he was there was this famous like art school in Germany called the Bauhaus School, and so there's art movement called Bauhaus, and it's all tied into like 20th century Art Deco, all this very 20s 30s style that has very at that modern look, and it's very sleek. And but this guy did he was just a very famous architect. I think architect, set designer, artist. I think a lot of these people kind of dabbled in different things, but he taught a lot of people that would go on to make these German Expressionist films, and a lot of people that would. So that's the thing. This is an example of German Expressionism. German Expressionism is the film movement that a lot of our most famous horror imagery is built out of. All this shadow stuff, all these crazy sets, Tim Burton stuff. It all comes from German Expressionism. So that's why it's important to visit it here. And a lot of the guys that made these films, whether they were directors or cinematographers, writers, a lot of them, because of the trouble in Germany, by 1932, 33, most of them had moved to the United States and some of them were doing horror films, some of them would go on to do prestigious films, some of them would go on later to do film noirs. But it all comes out of the German Expressionist movement. So that's why it's important to dig into it a little bit. So for this break, we're going to get 2 German Expressionist trailers, 2 more German Expressionist movies post Caligari and Golem. So we're going to get a trailer for Nosferatu, which, yes, it is the same trailer that we made for Caligari. it is hard to find trailers for silent films or for
It's okay.
applicable things, right? But this is the only reused one. So, but it's good also to see another, again, more grounded than Caligari, but another example of German Expressionism where, again, your biggest things are contrast and light as shadow, and then very exaggerated elements, whether it's things in your set design or your acting. Usually you're acting, with what we just saw, and
You're right.
You'll see in these trailers, it's all very over the top. And that's what it's about.
It helps sell the emotion when you can't hear what they're saying.
Right,
or when
exactly.
They're just not saying anything.
If you have to say something when you're like, oh God, and that's maybe where some people get into trouble. But so we're gonna see a trailer for Nosferatu. And we are also going to see a trailer for a 1930-31 movie called M, which is on the tail end of German Expressionist. I think it still squeaks in there being called German Expressionist. And it's got Peter Lorre, who is you'll know him when you see him. He's kind of a classic horror, a little lesser known now, but especially back in the day, he's very famous. Because he has a very distinct look and a very distinct voice. And he starred in this movie M in his home country of Germany, directed by this guy Fritz Lang. Both of them would move to America and become famous doing Hollywood movies. And not horror stuff, both of these guys. Peter Lorre did horror stuff, did some horror stuff, but he also did like Casablanca and did, So, but you'll get to see in M, he plays a child murderer, and that movie is still chilling to this day. So
wait, a child murderer or a child murderer?
Child murderer. So he kills children.
Okay.
So
not a child who is a murderer.
No, he is not a child. He is certainly a scary man, and it is a unsettling film. And so we're going to show you those two trailers for two German Expressionist films, and when we come back, the exciting middle of Der Golem.
Ausschnitte aus dem erregenden, spannenden und aktuellen Kriminalfilm M, den der Regisseur Fritz Lang für die Nero-Produktion geschaffen hat. Die Handlung dieses einzigartigen Kriminalfilms ist von atemberaubender Explosivität. Spannungsgeladen von Anfang bis Ende.
Hallo, was hast du denn? Hallo, Paul! Was ist doch mit? Was ist denn? Ich hab was Kopf gehört! Was hab ich euch denn gesagt?
Das Resultat, bitte. Das Resultat.
Ich komme nämlich vom Finanzamt.
Wer ist der geheimnisvolle Unbekannte, der Millionen Menschen einer Stadt terrorisiert? Wo verbirgt er sich? Wie sieht er aus? Wer ist der Mörder? Jeder kann es sein. Jeder ist verdächtig.
Du bist wohl verrückt, du Schweinskerl!
M. Das Meisterwerk auf dem Gebiet des Kriminalfilms. Mit Otto Wernicke,
Hören Sie mal bloß auf, von der Mitarbeit des Publikums.
Gustav Gründgens,
Meine Herren, wenn sich mir bei Ausübung meines Berufs ein Kriminalbeamter den Weg stellt, dann weiß er, welches Risiko er eingeht. Und ich weiß es auch.
Theodor Loos,
Lassen Sie mal einen Wächter reinkommen.
Theo Lingen, Paul Kemp, Fritz Odemar,
Ist denn schon 3 Uhr?
Peter Lorre, Rosa Valetti,
Was glauben Sie, was die hier alle für eine Stinkwut auf den Kerl haben?
Friedrich Gnaas,
Mann, mein? Ich weiß von nichts, Herr Kommissar.
M. Ein Film, den jeder gesehen haben muss. Wir zeigen diesen spannenden Kriminalfilm demnächst in diesem Theater.
All right, and we are back. Thank you, Evan. So that was the trailer for Nosferatu, who definitely has that drip, and M, which is, I've never seen a movie trailer give that many like credits. That was so many actors, and Peter Lorre got buried in there. I guess it was alphabetical, and so I was like, when are they gonna say Peter Lorre and Peter Lorre? And Peter Lorre, and then there's Peter Lorre, and then there's, and then, you know, and then finally, very quickly, Peter Lorre, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed that German language trailer. That's a lot of fun trying to figure out what's going on there. Maybe you understood the word murder. Maybe you got some of the plot there. Maybe not. It is again an unsettling film. The beginning is really gripping, and then there's what, yeah, it's.
But we're not done yet.
It is. It's one of those movies that has some really great cinematic devices in the opening, and it just immediately unsettles you, and for a while you're just going with it, and then it does some other stuff, and you're just kind of like, all right, maybe you're kind of losing me. But I urge you guys to go check M out. It is wild. Right, and then you were very much settled. Oh well, you know, I guess there's worse thing in the world than cleaning women trying to break into my apartment. maybe it's child murderers. Maybe that could be worse. I didn't mean to be too prescient. That was unintentional. Not to get into anything on the show about anything, but you know, as it may be, as it were, we are about to get into the exciting middle of Der Golem, and we've been talking about German Expressionism, German Expressionist films, the sets, as you can see, all the wild curviness, all the lines, that's German Expressionist. Designed by a guy, Hans Polzig, who's the namesake for Boris Karloff's satanic character in the 1933 film The Black Cat, which is directed by a German immigrant who was a student of this guy. So I don't know why he was like, you know. Yeah, let's do a panel about current events. Let's just dig into it.
Welcome to Echo Chamber.
Let's get a pulse reading. Let's test the pulse of the nation here on Scream Stream. Let's get this panel. And that's how we'll get the name Scream Stream, because it's just a bunch of people screaming over each other. I mean, that would be, then it would, you know, the name would be more appropriate than ever. But that's beside the point. If you just like okay, you've had your turn. Just give me a minute. And this is where Sylar would take his opportunity to take his shoe off and try to, beat Evan over the head with it and turn the table. They would both be fighting over turning the table over, which is something that Sylar loves, called memory TV. I don't even know why I still have that cataloged in my brain, but that's the wonder of live debate on television, that if you really get mad enough, you'll just start breaking shit. But, as it may be, speaking of destruction and breaking shit, I think that I think we can certainly expect that in the exciting middle of the Golem. So, Evan, unless you have any... imagine that we're about to get a creation scene here. This Golem has been kind of sitting around for a while.
Yeah.
So
we need some lightning. We need some of the dark, stormy night.
Yeah, a little mad scientist work. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, isn't that the best thing about Illness Fresh? It just opens you up to a whole, new world of boredom where you discover things you never otherwise would have found. Isn't it amazing what boredom will, put in front of you? Make amazing discoveries. So, we're going to continue on our amazing discovery tonight, which is Der Golem. Oh, so he definitely made this guy his assistant.
Yeah.
For sure. He said, I can't do this all by myself. I'm an old rabbi. I need a young, at least...
Young, strong, backed assistant.
Virile, hunchbacked assistant. What? How long have they been doing this? Oh, yeah, Fresh. You didn't know? Fresh?
But wait, don't leave.
Fresh, we're getting it out of the way now so that it's done. It's over. We did it at episode 6 last season. It's episode 2 now, so we're knocking it out. Knocking it out early. Well, then you're in luck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Fresh, basically what we got going on here is this rabbi, the guy with the long gray beard, has seen in the stars that the people in his small Jewish community, they're calling it a ghetto, are going to be threatened. They're going to be under attack. And then right after that, they got an edict from the king that was basically...
They got an email.
Telling them, get out. Yeah, it was an email sent from a dandy that's the dandy, and he's seducing a lady from the ghetto. And so now the rabbi is trying to construct this golem to protect them, to protect the village if need be. So... they're gonna get the rabbi audience with the king. That's all this kind of,
Yeah, the Christian emperor accused the Jewish people of black magic, and in response, the rabbi is using black magic to create a golem to protect them.
And then the rabbi went into Cohen Guns and Ammo, bought an AR-15, and just shot down the king's court. All the chatty Cathys just tumbled down, and then they took over the kingdom, and all is right with the world, right? Roll credits. Film is over. No, I mean, again, in this day and age, your golem is your AR-15 if it had a mind of its own. And so then, it may fight back. Wouldn't that be something? I'd like to see that. Assault weapons. Well, you know, that wouldn't be good for owners of assault weapons like
ban assault golems.
Yeah, assault golems, right?
She's gonna need a guardian. Choking her out.
Yeah. So who's gonna protect her from you? Yeah, Fresh, this is the same year as Caligari in the same country, Germany. You know, Evan, I would ask you to read with your powerful narrator voice, but you're not prepared. So, but next time we have a silent film, we may have to employ your narrator
quick pause it.
voice. Morty, come on, Morty.
we gotta make this golem
It is
Morty.
German Rick and Morty.
You thought I couldn't do it, Morty. I'm gonna bring this clay to life.
It's Astroth, Morty. It was the answer all along. I should have known. I wasn't done reading. Just put some sticky tape on the back and it's perfect. It'll stay. We only needed to stay for a couple hours. If we can just even do that, we'll be fine. Here we go. Here we go. A little creation scene, hopefully. Again, I have not seen this film, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
I think the golem is going to get mad and try to kill its creator because he gave it the world's dumbest haircut.
Why have you given me this bowl cut that also makes me look like Blake Anderson from Workaholics?
This fade is bullshit.
That does sound like a Rick
Look at his
line
hat
fresh.
now.
Oh my god! It's a giant.
It's like a chef's hat.
It is a giant chef's hat. I mean, he's cooking. Look at what he's
What's he
cooking up
up
here, dude. He's cooking up a golem. All right, today we're gonna be cooking up a fresh golem. Bam! Whoa. Give me some visual effects. Give me something.
What do you got?
You're giving him plenty of. Ooh!
That
Yes!
is cool.
I called it.
1920, everybody.
And all that was a simple crossfade, a simple dissolve, but I mean, the George Méliès, who was one of the pioneers of early, like, pre-1900 film, he experimented with trick photography and did a lot of stuff like this. And that was 20 years before this.
It's so hard to believe.
Yeah, going back and looking at like Trip to the Moon. Have you seen Trip, like,
Yeah,
with
with the thing it crashes
right.
into the...
That's like 1902, 03, and that's
wow.
George Méliès. Eyes in German silent movies always look terrifying. They always look scary as shit.
Ooh. Oh shit. So I'm pretty sure, like, in mythology, Astaroth is a demon, right?
I guess that looks like a demon. That almost looks like the robot from Phantom Creeps.
It kind of does, yeah.
Holy shit. Yes, yes it is. Ooh. Focus, focus. Oh! Still didn't quite get the jump cuts.
Yeah. Not perfect, but hey.
No, this is Patrick. Oh!
They do some lightning.
Ah! What, did the assistant die? I guess.
I guess.
My name's not Rick. Yeah, with that hat on earlier, he definitely looked like Patrick.
Guess that's the bargain. The demon's bargain.
Right?
Yeah, I'll give you my assistant.
I mean, I guess it's worth it.
I'll
It's
give you the
one
word
measly assistant.
For your assistant. Oh yeah, okay. You can have him.
If it means I save the entire village, then I guess I'm gonna have to do it.
Oh, he's fine.
He's alive.
Das Fort.
I see. That's the thing. Is like if it's moving so fast, like I've got to read the subtitles at the bottom. But I always love looking at the German. Like the German subtitles are always great. German words. It's just so fascinating to me. It shouldn't be.
It's a fun language. He looks like a tall Lord Farquaad.
That is the hairstyle.
That's the hair.
It's definitely Lord Farquaad. Yeah, for sure. If anybody, fresh, anybody out there, if you got ideas on what this hairstyle reminds you of, because I think there's other things too. Lord Farquaad is a great one though.
It reminds me of the guy from the Midnight Gospel. The demon guy from the kind of fantasy episode.
I gotta watch that show again. That show is so trippy if you haven't seen Midnight Gospel. Oh my god.
Prince something. Ooh. Ooh.
You're not looking too
Prince
happy.
Jamroll, that was his name.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He had that hair.
Yeah, it does look like Dave Bautista.
It does, yeah.
100%.
The movement,
I mean, under that freaking costume, you're pretty much waddling like a duck already.
Get out of the way, nerd. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora hair because that's why it's so big. Yeah, it's Dora. It's definitely Dora for sure, dude. Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Oh my gosh, it's my chat. I don't know what it's doing, but for some reason, like the names are the same colors, so I'm like getting. Like I thought it was just Fresh, and now I'm realizing it's Fresh and Sierra.
That's weird. On mine, it's two different colors.
What is my chat doing to me?
Garrett, are you colorblind?
And I'm just finding out now, live? Put him to work.
Well, what else is he gonna do?
When the time comes for you to save the village, we'll let you know. But until then, we got all this wood that needs chopping, so hop to. Yes, that must be what it is.
So the golem myth, I mean, it's following it, pretty close so far. There's usually some kind of magic word that brings the earth to life, and it is made to work, but things go awry.
See, I wasn't sure how much this was inspired by, like the golem. I don't really know anything about the golem myth, so I didn't know what was just the movie and what was part of mythology.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a ton about it, but I mean, I think there's different forms of the myth, but they all kind of follow that similar structure.
Right.
So whoever I think it's a Jewish myth. So usually the Jewish people need something to protect them, or they need something to to work for them, and so they have the magic word. It brings it to life, but it doesn't, or it follows commands very literally, and so that inevitably leads to something going poorly.
Right.
And there's usually some. I mean, well, I hope I'm not gonna spoil. Should I say the?
Go ahead. I mean,
usually it resolves by.
It is definitely
yeah.
I'm Mr. Music.
Usually it resolves by them smudging out one of the letters of the word and changing it to a different thing, and it means something else, and it kills the golem.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I figured origins had to go much further back.
Right.
So
Yeah.
see it going to Greek mythology.
Yeah. Well, I think the kind of popular one that we know it's kind of a medieval myth.
Right.
But I think at least as far as the Jewish kind of tradition goes back to BC.
But I think this is definitely comes out of the medieval. Well, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think, again, I don't know how much it's following Jewish folklore as much as just European. But it's kind of wild because the guy who's playing the Golem, Paul Wegener, made 2 other Golem movies before this. This is his 3rd one. He's very fascinated with the whole mythology. Apparently, he heard it in Prague, or some version of it while he was filming a movie in Prague, and this was his 3rd try, and this is the only one that still survives.
3rd time's the charm.
Right. Mentally evil, actually.
I mean, what is kind of interesting is even as far back as the Abrahamic creation myth, going back to Adam and Eve. I mean, there's even an element of that in there. There's some versions of that. Adam is made out of dust or out of earth,
Right.
and so it's this higher thing that is making a thing and bringing it to life out of earth.
Right. That's cool though. I mean, again, yeah. It all goes back to that idea of bringing something to life out of nothing, right?
Yeah, Fresh was there.
I saw it all. Saw it go down. Took my rib out and shit. I still got 11 more though. How many ribs do people have? Putting you on the spot here, Evan.
I always forget my anatomy.
I never took any kind of anatomy, so I have no clue.
Oh man, I took 2 anatomy classes and like
We were eating apples. I gave him a rib. This snake came by and we chilled for a little bit. It was sick. You know, for a later Golem story, I read this short story. I was looking for some short stories to adapt, and this writer did a short story about a Golem who shows up on this, like, elderly Jewish couple's lawn, and they chastise him, and then they make him mow their lawn. And he's like coming up to them like, I'm the bringer of death. And they're like, oh, the yard needs to be mowed. We should make him do it. And it is hilarious. And it's called The Golem by Avram Davidson. It is a
it's one of Davidson's.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a much lesser known sci-fi writer, but I looked at one
Certainly
of his,
beloved on this stream.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've read a couple of his stories and I like them a lot, and you know, it's very, very, very close to adapting one, and I very highly suggest you guys go check out his short stories.
Avram Davidson.
Avram Davidson, a lot of great work. Get out of here. Scat. Go.
So I don't know if you want to save, this for later, but how much of this, at least so far, later comes into Frankenstein?
I think some of the stuff that we saw in the creation scene, certainly the lightning, just like you even said, the idea of having an assistant, like, I mean, that wasn't in Mary Shelley's, none of that was in Mary Shelley's story. Electricity was not Mary Shelley's story. Lightning was not Mary Shelley's story. An assistant was not Mary Shelley's story. So already, I don't think this was there were stage plays of Frankenstein where some of those traditions were developed, but I think certainly cinematically, if you were to compare the two movies side by side, the imagery is similar. And I think we're in store for more. Fucking court, dude. King's Court.
I got subpoenaed to King's Court.
Your presence has been requested at His Highness's royal court. I mean, really, Gandalf, right? Like, come on. If he had a little bit of a bigger beard, whoa. They were like, whoa.
Yeah, these knights
Hold
are
up.
shocked.
Didn't raise their swords, though. Kept their composure. Very poised. Everybody knows that tune. This little ditty.
So Garrett, did you enjoy that stone sour a little
It
more?
was delicious. Yeah.
During the break, Garrett said that he brushed his teeth right before we started
Right,
streaming.
and I didn't mention it on. I didn't mention. You maybe could see it on my face, and I thought about mentioning it. And then I told Evan in the break that I had brushed my teeth right before the
And of
stream.
course, there's
so-
orange juice in this drink.
And I had had a couple sips of my beer, didn't really notice it, but when I drank that stone sour, I was tasting a little bit of toothpaste for sure. Right. That citrus, that's what it was, Fresh, is that citrus toothpaste combination that is just. Well,
For real, this man does.
Dave probably wouldn't be too happy about that, because what I can tell you about Paul Wegener is that he was one of the few people from the German Expressionist movement that I know of to stay in Germany when the Nazis took over and to act for the, German film industry under the Nazi Party. So, and he...
What was the big Nazi propaganda movie?
Triumph of the Will?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the one that really.
Burn,
Eh,
burn.
and we're gone.
Done. That's it. I mean, we probably already got a COVID warning at the beginning when we were talking about could COVID be transmitted via stream?
Oh gosh. Let's not give
Fresh.
anyone any ideas.
This is it. This is, we decided to play all our cards up front. Yeah. No, I've already refuted this, Fresh. I've already said that these rumors are false.
Can we get
This is
Dr.
not
Fauci on the
true.
stream?
Dr. Gotcha. No gotcha. This is not a gotcha. There is no gotcha. No. Phantasmagoria.
Now there's
What
a
great
word.
word. You strange illusionist. That's what I need to start calling people. Look at this king, dude. He reminds me of the prince from Monty Python.
Yeah, he
and
really
Holy
does.
Grail. All that makeup on his face. A terrible calamity. And there was much rejoicing. What is this hat? Oh, is this Feather Guy? Fuck Feather Guy, dude. This dandy.
Squire Florian.
Is that his name? Squire Florian. And then
No,
they
he
cut off
has
his
no
thumbs.
thumbs.
Good night. The end. Whoa! Shooting out fireballs out of his palms. Fucking Ghost Rider over here. Whoa. That's wild. Holy shit. This looks like got a scene out of the Ten Commandments.
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes I just get nostalgic thinking about Moses.
You get nostalgic and then my eyes just glaze over and they look absolutely terrifying, but I'm perfectly fine. All of our eyes look crazy too. Is that Moses?
No.
No.
Ahasverus.
I love the vignette. Somebody get this jester out of here. Fucking assholes. God. Fuck these elites. And their goddamn courts.
It's like 3D. He's coming right at me.
Ah. Oh shit.
Oh no.
Ah, what? Uh-oh. Ah. Yep. Jump, jump, jump. Oh shit. I hope the king died. Fuck that guy. Oh no, he's right
No,
there.
he's there.
Asshole. Yeah, I bet you will. Yeah, I'm sure we can trust your word, noble king. Dickhead. Hate kings. Alright, we're putting the bleachers. We're back in. Everybody back up. Ah! Strong man.
The end.
And that was the end of the movie. I hope you guys enjoyed their Golem. So that was the exciting middle of Der Golem. And the Golem is moving around. He's been put to work for a little bit now.
He even has some kind of human touches. So I'm kind of trying to smell that flower.
Right, and I think that's the thing, right? Is always when artificial life is given, at what point is it starting to show that maybe it's more than artificial? Maybe it wants a little more out of life.
That's you know.
That's always how it goes.
Yeah,
Always.
it's the conflict of the original Frankenstein.
Conflict of Frankenstein. Conflict of every. That's what AI, art. You know, the Steven Spielberg movie. Like anything. You know, when it gets a mind of its own and it wants a better life, then it becomes a whole different story. So we'll see. I mean, he's proven his worth to the court. It looks like just now. Looks like he saved everybody, right? I mean, unless we consider that a cliffhanger, which, if you've been following our mini-sodes, we've been learning a thing or two about plenty of cliffhangers. Every week we get a new cliffhanger. So maybe we got one of those here. I don't know. In any case, the Golem's been active. So better than, you know, at least they're not saving him to the end.
Yeah, the stream is brought to you by
Michelob. No.
the superior light beer.
Michelob, Corona, you know, whichever, whoever wants to know. Just kidding.
Whatever. It could be whatever.
It could be whoever. It could be whoever realistically wanted. No. You know, if only in a perfect world. Regardless, Der Golem, let's see, yeah, it's brought to you by whoever. It's certainly not me. We're certainly not bringing it to you. It's being brought to you through the great ghost of Bela Lugosi in the sky. That is who is bringing you this stream every week. I swear. It's not me. So far, you know, some cool imagery. As far as horror factor goes, you know, yeah.
Maybe not the most horrifying movie, but
no, not so far. But we got a third act to get through, so who knows?
It's, you know, it's a slow burn, but it's building up to something.
Right. it could certainly get pretty scary. I don't know. There were, the creation scene was pretty wild. So, again, that's a Frankenstein parallel.
I think Squire Florian is probably the most horrifying thing.
If anything, I just want to see those fuckers die. That's what I want to see. I want to see Squire Florian die. I want to see the king die. I want these guys dead. They don't deserve to live. You heard it here first. I'm saying it now. Fuck those guys. So, like we said, we've been talking about the parallels to Frankenstein, and it's interesting to note, again, like we said with German Expressionism, a lot of these guys moved to America to flee Nazi Germany. Unlike the guy who's playing the Golem, he did not flee. A lot of people that I know of in the German Expressionist movement fled, and one of those guys who was the cinematographer of this film, Karl Freund, not Freud, Karl Freund would go on to be the cinematographer for Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, and he would go on to direct The Mummy with Boris Karloff.
Brendan Fraser.
yeah, he lived to be 130, and he's directed Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz and the classic 1999 film The Mummy. No, this was actually the 1932 version of The Mummy, which is basically another version of Dracula. He's the director for that, and the other trailer we're going to be seeing is another movie that Karl Freund directed called Mad Love, which is a horror movie with Peter Lorre as a mad surgeon who puts a serial killer's hands on a pianist after his hands get disfigured in an accident. And so then he's like murderous, but then Peter Lorre's in love with the dude's fiance and he's being a creep, and so it's a wild movie. So, and again, they're both horror movies, so maybe in these trailers you might be able to see some of the German Expressionist kind of imagery that carried over, but certainly it was because of people like Karl Freund who were active in German Expressionism in Germany, came to America and were doing horror films, that horror films got this unique look that is based in German Expressionism. So we're going to get to those two trailers, and when we come back, the exciting conclusion of Der Golem.
Death, eternal punishment for anyone who opens this casket.
The mummy. Is it dead or alive? Human or inhuman? You'll know. You'll see. You'll feel the awful, creeping, crawling terror that stands your hair on end and brings a scream to your lips. There's nothing on earth like the mummy.
You will not remember what I show you now, and yet I shall awaken memories of love and crime and death.
Now I know his horrible plan. He is going to kill her and make her a living mummy like himself.
Yeah, this is Peter Lorre speaking.
I couldn't resist the temptation to call you. I just read of your new picture that you're to make.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Thanks for your interest.
Oh, I thought you were magnificent in M. And just the other night I saw your character are you going to play?
Oh, it's the most unusual story. You know, it's a great love drama. I am to be a half-mad scientist. I, a poor peasant, have conquered science. Why can't I conquer love? He shall be shut up when it's I who am mad. But nobody knows that. Yes, each man kills the thing he loves.
So I scoffed at the end of that trailer when a credit came up for Ted Healy. And for those of you who aren't informed about who Ted Healy is, he was the original straight man to the Three Stooges. It used to be Ted Healy and the Three Stooges.
He kind of got left behind, didn't he?
Well, he was kind of a dickhead to the Stooges and kind of screwed them out of stuff. And then
he went on to invent some very
and then he was reeling around in
very
those
nice
shoes, and the Stooges got mad and said, you know, we're going to create our own comedy group. We have plenty of pies to throw at each other. We don't need you, you asshole. And so Ted Healy was heeling around on his Heelys for a while. Then he got beat to death by maybe some famous people.
Maybe the Three Stooges.
They might have had a hand in it. No, I don't think they had a hand in it. But certainly some famous people, maybe an Oscar-winning actor and some other people had a hand in this man's death. And so, and this was before 1940, I think, that he died. So Stooges, like, their heyday was 40s, 50s. So, like, he, you know, his death certainly kind of got lost in everything, but I just felt like it was important to know. Right? Yes. Well, when you keep getting tips from these dying mobsters saying, "Hey, we buried Jim Hoffa over here," you know, it's probably not accurate. It's just some, you know, demented guy. They're just digging up a trash yard. They're looking for a barrel in a trash yard. They're not gonna find Jimmy Hoffa's body.
I mean, even if they find Jimmy Hoffa's body, what are they gonna do with it?
What are they gonna do with it? It's just gonna be a skeleton by now. You might as well put him up in a medical college. And well, yes, I'm sure the mob owned a lot of dumps back in the day. The Bellagio Casino for one. No, I don't know. I don't even know if that's a mob. I don't know mob casinos. I don't know anything about it. I don't know shit about the mob. I couldn't tell you anything. So those two trailers, though, are both directed by a guy named Karl Freund, not Sigmund Freud. And he was a cinematographer. He was a director. He would go on to be, I believe, the cinematographer for the television series I Love Lucy.
Oh.
He pioneered the 3-camera setup that is like popular for sitcoms. Like every laugh track sitcom, it has this 3-camera setup, and he was the one that
cracked the
developed
code.
it.
He figured it out.
So he got started in German Expressionism. He made Universal horror films. This was in the 20s and the 30s, and then by the 50s, he was working for Lucy and Desi.
What a storied career.
So a storied career for Karl Freund, and we're looking at some of his early cinematography work here with Der Golem, and the exciting third act of Der Golem. Hopefully, hopefully the golem's going to get the chance to get his hands a little dirty, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I'm saying.
If you know what I'm saying.
He's going to swoop in.
He's going to swoop in with those giant fists of his that probably look just like his hair, and he's going to
elbow out
Squire Florian.
Squire Florian.
Pummels. I hope he pummels Squire Florian into the ground. Fuck that guy. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting third act of Der Golem. Capital. Is that Capital?
Capital. It's the same place. They've been in the same place the entire movie. I don't know why they...
Think that moon is real, dude? Yeah, you might actually think it's real. I don't think it's real, but
I don't think it's real because it looks like a cloud is going behind it.
Right, but it still looks pretty wild.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right. If you put a Dora wig on anything, and you're just, immediately the potential, the possibilities are endless.
It's one of those close moon kind of nights. Moon's looking a little close tonight, isn't it?
Tide's coming in mighty fast tonight, isn't it? The water shouldn't be at my knees when it's usually at my ankles. Yeah, Moonfall out on Blu-ray now. Fresh. I don't know if you're planning on seeing the Bob's Burgers movie, but I did see that today. Can definitely recommend. If you're a Bob's Burgers fan, you're gonna love it. Even if you're not, it is a perfect intro for you. Check. And I'm not paid. This is not a plug. This is not a paid plug, but I saw it. I enjoyed it. So if you haven't decided what movie you're gonna go see, Fresh, yeah. Oh yeah, the Draft House has been building it up. They are all about it. What? He's in his underwear? Did you see that?
Yeah.
This is well, that's
Is it
a good
kid's
point.
movie?
It's not a kids movie. We were in the theater. Was like, go during the day. Go to a matinee.
Go when the kids are at school.
Well, that you should have gone today. We went today. There were 3 other people, and they were not kids. And we actually went with a kid. It was me and my dad and my niece. And so, but I honestly wish I would have seen it alone. You don't want to, you want to find a screening without children, because I'm very short patient of people talking during the movie. She, every once in a while would turn to ask a question, be like, and I did involuntarily go, shh. And I felt bad, but I did do it. I'll be honest. I can't help it.
She kept saying, Garrett, I've never seen this show. I don't know who any of these characters are.
Luckily, she was sitting in the middle, and then she moved over and let my dad sit between us. So luckily, she directed all of her questions to them, and then I would kind of lean over. She wouldn't see me though, I don't think, so she wasn't affected. I don't think my dad noticed that I was doing it either.
Oh, what is
terrible teeth? Bad teeth.
Why is he so angry all of a sudden?
Uh-oh.
Talk to the hand, mister.
Got
him. Golem.
That's why I use Scotch tape, so I could just rip it right off. And he's down. It's actually a solar-powered battery. All I have to do is put it out during the day, and then at night he just goes to work. Put on our witch hats and yell out the window. Yes, yes. What's the point of a horn that goes up like that? Is it going out or is it going up?
It's when you have news for all the birds.
Yeah, again, the set design. The set designer was
great.
He was an architect, so I think he legit built this shit. I'm pretty sure he was an architect. And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Spirit picture.
You know, it's funny. I'd never drawn the connection to Tim Burton and
with German
with German
Expressionist style.
Expressionism, and but I mean, yeah,
Yeah, no, Fresh, that's something we were talking about before you hopped on, was that whereas Caligari's all painted, this is very much, these are constructed sets. There's something like, and Evan just said that you can see the Tim Burton connection more clearly here with constructed sets, where everything's angular and everything is...
it just looks like Halloween Town.
Right, exactly. This is, yeah, that's what's going on. I mean, that's why you got all the pointed hat. It's just that's all it is.
There it is. He's gonna turn on his master.
Ain't that the way it goes? I needed you for leverage, and you're dead clay once more. Yeah, I guess he did summon a demon that looked oddly like the robot from Phantom Grapes. I will say, I forgot to bring it up earlier, but the demon head thing was really cool. Like, as far as horror imagery.
Yeah.
Like, that was
smoke
really
coming out of his mouth, and like the word that just appeared. Very cool.
Bro, you are...
I can't tell what's going on with them. Like, it
Well,
seemed like she was just leading him on, but at this point...
But then it seemed like he was leading her on,
Right,
and now
like-
it just seems like they're both in trouble. Or about to be in trouble. And again, these sets, like, the Universal sets look very much like this, as far as what you would see in a Frankenstein movie. Like, and again, it's kind of European, but that also is what the German Expressionist look is all about. It's not quite angled right. Everything's a little kind of curved and skewed. And there's something, you know. Again, I don't want to use the word psychological too much in the way that I use it, because for Caligari, I think it's more applicable. Merge 'em. Merge 'em. Are they a thing? I hope not.
Oh.
Not just now. Now's not a good time. Can you come back later? No. I'm gonna go with you to temple. Just go to temple without me. It's fine. It's really fine. I'm just gonna sneak out the back. Get one more kiss before I go. What? Is there somebody else in there with you? This is a soap opera right now. Dude.
Yeah. I don't know if I missed this note earlier in the...
Yeah, I didn't know they were
film, but
a thing.
Yeah, this feels like it kind of came out of nowhere. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh.
Here we go.
These are the stakes. This shit's intense. Uh-oh. Dude, you gotta die. This dude, he's been waiting to die, dude. Yes!
I just want you to scare him a little.
Kill, kill, kill.
Arrgh.
Uh-oh. So it's another thing with the universal, with the Frankenstein connection. Apparently, when they were doing makeup tests for Frankenstein's monster, one of the makeups looked like the Golem. It looked like this, and it was when Bela Lugosi did his makeup test, and he hated it, and apparently it did not go well. That's very Frankenstein to bust through a door like that. Oh, he's gone crazy. So that shot must have been cut. If anything looks lesser quality, they had to get it from a worse print because it was cut out of the good print for some reason.
So this is kind of a Franken print.
Yeah. Precisely, Evan. Well, the way he stuck his chest out and sashayed across that stage. You're gonna die, dude. What do you think?
Why'd you come back? Is this like a Scooby-Doo
If this
scene?
just had yakety sax under it, it would be perfect.
Maybe she's just not into you, dude.
She's just not that into you, bro. Oh, this is cool. Ooh. I'm like a chameleon. I'm the same color as everything. Ooh. See, I wish there were shots like this in Frankenstein, man. There's nothing like this in Frankenstein.
I mean, that's great.
I mean, in Bride of Frankenstein, there's kind of a shot like, oh, there's this in Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah.
Wow.
Woo!
He
That's
chased
what
him
I
off, all
wanted.
right.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, Jerry, how are you
wanted.
still feeling about Squire Florian?
Well, I kind of like, anytime there's like more of a struggle, but hey, I wanted him to die, and that was a great death. Is he gonna throw her off too? No, yeah, this par for the course. She's mine now. But that was definitely like a Bride of Frankenstein. There, similarities there with that show. Yes, the wonderful world of wrestling is certainly full of horrible, grisly accidents that deserve their own live stream to delve into the mysteries. Got smart on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you thought, bitch.
Whoa. Lighting change.
Orange.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Where's the rabbi, though?
Yeah.
What?
I guess he's still at the temple.
Oh, yeah, they're all at temple, I guess? Shit. Yeah.
Well, here we go. Things have
Wow.
gone awry.
Very, very awry. Oh.
This is kind of Frankenstein, isn't it?
Yeah. Whoa. You could definitely see that in the finale of the original Frankenstein. Monster surrounded by fire. Oh! Temple. The menorah, the size of that menorah.
Say hey!
Hey! Oh!
Say oh!
Hey!
Now somebody scream!
Ah! Uh-oh.
But I unplugged the
I
golem.
don't know what happened. I think there might be a fire. You might need to go and check. It is just a fucking mosh pit, dude. That's all it is. 100%.
It's like a little kid, like, trying to fess up to something. And did somebody turn the golem on?
He might have somehow got his star back in place. I don't know.
I don't know
how it happened. Ah.
Ugh.
Is that a dead body?
Is she dead, or is she...
He's carrying her by the hair?
Yeah.
Brutal. What are you gonna do? Why don't you... Oh my god, that's so many people.
Yeah, jeez.
Jeez.
I was an extra on Dare Golem.
Hey, I would absolutely hate to set up a shot like that. That would be a nightmare. That many extras. I love all these witch hats, though.
Yeah, the hats are great.
He is definitely dragging her by the hair. Holy shit.
It's brutal.
I guess there's no way to put the fire out? Is the whole ghetto gonna go up?
I guess so.
Holy shit. All they can do is pray, right? There's no such thing as a fire department. All we have is the Lord's fire department.
Some interesting history. Some early fire departments, instead of like trying to fight the fire in a city, they would just instead like demolish the surrounding houses so the fire didn't spread.
I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, right? Cut off, like, cut off the supply to the fire.
I mean, it sucks if you live next door to a fire, but
I'm sorry, ma'am. We're gonna have to tear your whole house down. There's fire next door. Well, why are you gonna have to tear my house down, ma'am? Ma'am, this is precaution. Please step back. Right? Could you imagine? I'm sorry, we can't go in there. We need to wait an hour until the fire is no longer a threat. What? Well, I can imagine an earlier fire department too. What are they just moving through with hatchets? Just fucking, like fucking. You might as well just draw, I guess you don't even have vehicles back then. You can't ride you can't get your horse to fucking crash through walls.
You don't have a high pressure water hose. You have a well.
Right. How did the rabbi save everybody? He got everybody to pray? Like, can that save him? What, did the golem let her go? What happened?
I'm not sure.
This dude needs to pay, though. I'm glad that Squire Florian got his.
Now we've got a new villain.
But this guy needs to pay.
So, I'm sorry about before.
He wasn't. He was just there to give me some news from the king. That's it. There was nothing sexual. I'm sorry, man. We need to burn your house down to try to stop the fire next door. That's fighting fire with fire.
Oh, there's the golem.
The big shoes are definitely like a Frankenstein thing.
True.
Gotta have big shoes.
Well, Frankenstein had big shoes to fill.
Ain't that the truth? Ah! Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
This is kind of reminiscent of Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The monster trying to connect with people and they'll just run away.
Exactly. That scotch tape, man. It's just enough. Look at that.
Wow.
A little girl. Right. All I did was just, he had this little star, I just wanted to look at it, then he dropped dead. So apparently the original little girl that they had to do like the scene with him was too scared, and so the girl that we see is the original little girl's older sister.
Huh.
So what are you gonna do when you find the god? What are they doing? They're just hanging out with him? Putting flowers on him and shit?
Got a new place to sit.
Yeah, that's true. Did he break? His legs look weird. Oh my god, so many pointy hats. This is the most pointy hats we've had at once. He bust. He's bust. Oh, I can just make another one. That's very easy. Whoa. No. That's the end? What? Oh!
Wow.
They took him back, and that's it?
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so again, what I'll say is what was And what was very cool about that is that you could see the Frankenstein parallels. There are very many, and I think that's definitely important to note. At the same time, you can see why certain people would be reticent to label this a horror movie.
Right.
You know, you can see mythology, folklore, sci-fi, action, fantasy, all these other things. There's some horrific imagery, but I mean, it's just kind of a story about a group of people, and they need to be protected, and so a guy makes a thing, and it protects them, but it's rogue, and ultimately, thankfully, he gets defeated, and that one guy didn't die or pay.
Yeah, he didn't really get any kind of comeuppance for that.
No comeuppance. This is pre-code. Well, yeah, this is Germany, so this is no code.
Right.
Well, pre-Nazi code, which is a whole other.
Yeah, that's a
different kind of code, which we don't even need to get into here. So, what are our thoughts? Der Golem. You know, the imagery is really cool, I think, like in the practical sense. You know, whereas Caligari was very manufactured and very arty. This was
more grounded.
Very grounded, very real. And you could say that it sucked because it was German. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you. Certainly, it would be in the German tradition to be a downer. And, I mean, I guess this wasn't a downer per se.
Exactly. Kind of a mixed ending.
You know, it's cool to see like a little... I guess it was cool to see a little girl defeat him, but then it's like, what? Well, that's it, and then they take him back. Well, what are they gonna do? What? I guess they're safe. You know, like, I guess when he brought the golem to the king's court, and the golem proved his worth, I guess they were fine. Their existential threat was over. But you know, then it was the golem's got a mind of his own, and so then that was the threat. So I guess that's your monster movie, but.
Yeah, it definitely becomes more of a monster in the third act.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good point. Definitely, you could use the word monster. It's an applicable term here.
You almost don't get that. It was like they're building up toward a redemption, and it just gets kind of cut down before it really gets there.
I think that's a really good way to put it, actually, because, yeah, and again, that's the thing with Frankenstein, you know, the movie, and the character Frankenstein's monster, is that at a certain point, you've seen this character do horrible things, or they're at a stage where you're just, you know, that you're expecting that they are rebelling and there's a point of no return, but then they have this interaction with a child, and you know, there's a moment, not necessarily a moment of clarity, but kind of this moment of, like you're saying, almost redemption of, I'm going to have a normal interaction with a real human, and it's going to be fine. But before you really even got that opportunity, you know, the star got pulled out, he's dead, and he's getting taken back into the ghetto.
Yeah.
So, I think it would have benefited to give the golem a little more, you know.
A little more something. And, you know, the rabbi kind of...
disappeared.
He didn't play a huge part in the third act of that.
Yeah.
You know, usually these kinds of stories, and even the golem myth itself kind of revolve around, you know, hubris.
Right.
You know, people getting into things that they shouldn't be getting into, and then it ends up turning back around on themselves, and you know, they suffer some kind of tragic fall because of it. But you know, he wasn't really. It didn't exactly. I guess his house burned down, kind of, but.
Well, I guess if you want to say that kind of character arc did befall anybody, and probably should have befallen anybody, is with Prince Florian. because he was sent to do this horrible thing, and then he's kind of being bribed, you know, but he was full on ready to be like, we're kicking you out, we're done, whatever. He didn't know about the golem, but then he's being seduced by this lady. So he's ready to take full advantage of these people. But then once, you know, I think once his affair with that one lady, you know, it kept going on, then maybe he was kind of second guessing it. But at that point, it was too late. He made the cardinal sin by being a fucking asshole, being like, oh, here I come riding into town, get out. He deserved to, again, I kept saying it, right? Like, he deserved to pay. But at a certain point, it was almost like maybe he was seeing the light, right? It was like that idea of that he was having a change. Like, through his affair with this woman, he was kind of having a character arc where maybe he was softening a little bit. But because of what a dick he was in the beginning, he deserved to die. So the golem made him pay. So it's, you know, and again, that was the whole thing. Like, I mean, you know, the rabbi wasn't acting out of hubris. He saw a prediction and he's trying to protect his people. If anybody's acting out of hubris, it's the king and, you know, those fucking assholes. Right. Well, the golem toll is certainly probably, once the conversion rate sets in, greater than, if not at the very least equal to, the troll toll. But I would believe it would be greater than the troll toll. I'm not clear on the golem to troll toll conversion rate, but that would be something to check into for the next stream. And again, thank you guys for joining us and for sticking with us through a silent film. Again, we're gonna have to do at least one of these every season, if not more. If I don't do them now, then you would just have a season that was half silent movies, and the viewership, if we ever got it, it would plummet. If we had any,
it would disappear.
It would disappear. So it's good to go ahead and at least knock out one now. So we went ahead. We got Caligari. We got Caligari, we got the Golem out of the way, and honestly, those are two very good movies to have an understanding not only of the German Expressionism movement, but also an understanding of early horror in general. And so
there's a lot of context to be placed, you know, the context of this film and Caligari in the, you know, pantheon of cinema and horror.
Right. Like, especially when you look at these two movies and you apply it to classic horror, universal horror, you see the influences. But then also, again, like you're saying, it's when you think about it, the influences run all the way through horror, you know, the decades all the way up to now. And with this show, you know, we get the decades from this movie, which is 1920, which is about as early as we're going to get on this show, to as late as we're going to get on this show, which is the 70s. You know, that's when movies kind of stop falling in the public domain accidentally, or, you know, it's mostly accidentally. People either don't file the copyright.
They got too smart for us.
Right, they got too smart for us, and so by the mid-70s, we don't get you know, there might be a couple, but there really aren't as many as we get 30s, 40s, and again, most of the silent movies are public domain. So the cool thing about this show is we cover the pantheon. So this week, we've been able to bring you guys the earliest of the early, their Golem. Now we're about to go
Proto-Frankenstein.
Right, Proto-Frankenstein, Proto-Horror. Now we're taking it all the way on the other end of the spectrum to the latest of the late.
Okay.
And next week,
Whiplash, segue.
Right, a little bit of whiplash, because next week we're bringing you guys a movie called Horror Express, which is from 1971. And it is basically about a prehistoric missing link monster that gets loose aboard the Trans-Siberian Express in, like, I don't know, it's like the late 1800s, early 1900s. This is another period piece, but it's filmed in the 70s, and it stars Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Ooh,
and
okay.
again, when we're
Big
talking
names.
about classic horror, those are big names in classic horror, but this is like towards the end of the prime of their horror careers. So that's, again, what I love about the beauty of the show is we can get the early horror to the last vestiges of classic horror, because we're getting kind of one of the final great Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee pairings. And it's a co-production, so I think it's like a Spanish or Italian film. But it's got them, Telly Savalas, who some of you may know, some of you, when you see him, you may know him. He's a famous American actor who he plays a Cossack in this movie, and it's very strange because he's very American. Well, he's Greek, but he's American, and he played this detective character on American television called Kojak, who like always had like a lollipop in his mouth.
Yeah, Kojak Horseman.
Right. Well, there's your crossover.
What is this, a crossover episode?
Yeah, well, and again, BoJack Horseman. It's all about. It ends up getting into that whole,
Wouldn't you know it? He's part of the pantheon of horror monsters too.
He is the greatest horror monster of all time.
Half horse, half man.
Half horse,
terrifying.
half man, all terror.
All trauma.
And that was the catchphrase. And unfortunately, it's very forgotten. But then they made a cartoon out of it, and so it is what it is. But we're gonna get a really fun Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing movie next week. Again, if you guys don't know, they were both in different Star Wars movies. Count Dooku and Grand Moff Tarkin. They were more famous to me for playing Dracula and Van Helsing for Hammer Studios Dracula movies. Peter Cushing also played Dr. Frankenstein a lot. They did all these horror movies, and so the movie we're getting next week, Horror Express, is one of their kind of last great collaborations. They did a couple more, but this is at the tail end, and so it's a good way to kind of jump from one end of the spectrum to the other. And one of the staples of the show is that I'm always a week behind. Last week we showed Dementia 13, even though the week before that was Friday the 13th. We were having the week off. So next week I'm showing you a Christopher Lee movie. Today is Christopher Lee's birthday. It's also Vincent Price's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to them.
Happy birthday to them. Peter Cushing's birthday was yesterday. So
it's a live stream, but there's a little bit of lag time.
It's always a lag.
Just a week.
Maybe a week. And honestly, that's the thing. If you know me personally, it takes me a week or two to understand anything that I don't get. So if I'm oblivious to something, it's only a week or two later I figure it out. So I didn't look up when Christopher Lee's birthday was, and what I was oblivious until a week later, and we weren't doing a Christopher Lee movie. But I'm making up for it a week later. That's my schedule. That's how I work. That's how I operate. So I'm really happy to bring everybody that next week. Join us on Wednesdays for our mini-sodes, where we're going to be on Chapter 4 of The Phantom Creeps, which stars Bela Lugosi.
It's been very fun so far.
It has been fun. Again, we end on a cliffhanger every week. I can always promise you explosions. I can always promise you... Can't promise you death, even though people will be shot at endlessly and somehow still not die. So I can't promise you death. Even when they're in the very face of death, they'll jump right out of the car, even though they didn't show you that before. You know, that's the beauty of serials. You always get a little something extra.
They play a little fast and loose with consequences and death
continuity,
and
you know, that's par for the course with serials, but especially Universal in general. When you go look at their horror movies, there's no continuity. You try to do well in the last movie, no, none of it makes sense. So join us on Wednesdays for The Phantom Creeps. Be back here next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for Horror Express, which is going to be a lot of fun. Until then, everybody take it easy. Sweet screams.
Witch, please.